to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucius, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
And we're back. It's like we never left because we never do. We're always here to haunt you, everyone. Athletics LLC. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another fun episode. Getting everybody back into the swing of things as classes resume for the 22 of fall going into 23 spring. So the one most disassociated from that, Lamar from afar. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. It's almost summer vacation for me. My summer break, just in case anybody gives a damn, is from September. When is GOTS over? September 18th? From September 19th till like October 15th.
Good stuff. Make sure to cross those days off.
Yeah, I got about a month in there that I only have to do like 10 things. I won't have to do 100.
Got it. Well, the least busiest man on the tiles, Sir Lucius, you know, you're just sitting pretty, enjoying your couches.
That seems to be the poor assumption of lots of folks, but I'm actually doing very well. I'm very well recovered. I mean, I recovered better from the European trip than I did from the trip to Eugene.
I mean,
great.
So Lucius, have you ever run into yourself?
I always travel better going west. Coming east just crushes me.
Have you ever run into yourself, so Lucius? Because you're so damn busy. I figure you're gonna walk out and walk into yourself coming in one day.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this nonsense that Lamar from afar is up to today.
I mean, that's legitimate. Like, listen, you're the one that coached every damn day of World Championships. I'm surprised you didn't figure out a way to coach every damn day of European Championships too.
Nah.
Not this year.
Right. It's an off year.
He was home breaking down film.
That I was.
Actually. Clyde, how are you tonight, sir?
I am working my way through the chaos of returning to campus.
Right. Exactly.
I had a comment to share with you, Clyde.
Oh,
somebody said since you've become a head coach, you clearly have lost all abilities to produce the ties for Clyde anymore.
You know what? Listen, that's not. It's not about the head coach. It's not that. There was just a lot going on in the last 9 months. But the ties for Clyde will return. That's not the first time I've heard that. They will return. They will return. I have to restore, the visual integrity of the show at some point. So I was
told that Clyde is way less bougie now that he's the head coach. He's way less bougie.
That's funny. That's actually funny. Intentionally, and I'm going to make you talk about it, Governor, the SWC governor today. I'm going to make you talk about it. I'm not going to let you get by with it. How was your special day today?
Oh, it was super special. Got a call about 2 years ago from the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame saying that I had been inducted and I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And huge honor. And today we drove up to Waco, Jack and myself, and good fellowship. So basically every member of the conference submits a name, puts a name forward. And I was fortunate enough and I was honored to be put forward for Rice. And but to get in that room with, all the former Southwest Conference superstars, I mean, unbelievable stories, unbelievable memories. You know, to see my former head coach and, you know, the sprints coach, and just to just catch up, you know, and but overall, I mean, just another wonderful moment for me, and yeah, one I'll cherish for life.
That's awesome.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
my man.
Thank you.
For all you youngsters who don't understand how big of a deal the Southwest Conference was, the conference has no longer been a conference for, was it a little more than
1995.
so it's 27 years, and they're still inducting people into the Hall of Fame, just so we're clear.
Exactly.
It's
Rightfully
like
so.
the Jordan brand, right? Jordan.
Yeah.
I bought a pair of Jordan 36s the other day. My man stopped playing at like year 15. So like
Like today, A&M submitted Greg Hill. Think about that.
Okay. Wow.
What a speech. Oh my goodness. If I hope somebody videotaped it, because it was epic. And yeah, I mean, got a chance to get on the stage with him and just, you know, oh man, it was really cool. But that we're talking about the RC Slocum, Texas A&M, 5 Southwest Conference titles in a row, never lost over a 5-year span, you know, so that was the good old days for A&M.
Oh, okay. Segue. Let's get into it. Clyde alluded to it, but you know, most of us that are returning to campus or have not, or are getting ready to return to campus in the next month or so. But a question posed to the Tiles, and Lamar, reflect on those things that you were doing when you were a college coach. What are your musts for your athletes as they return to campus and return to activities? So obviously, I'm not talking about the athletic training stuff or like getting their classes, but the things after that. What are some of the musts that you have to set up so that your group is successful?
You know, I'll tackle this one first. I think the biggest thing is the dissemination of information and getting them off, you know, giving them basically the tools to be successful for that year, giving them all the information they need, understanding that whether they're freshmen or whether they're seniors, it's just a hectic time. And the one thing I always say to my athletes this time of year is, at least once a day, stop and breathe and put your feet up, because it just gets overwhelming. And then you get behind because you're trying to do too much. Just, you know, be patient. And then after about a week, everything just settles down. So I think the biggest thing for me is that it's very important that my staff and I are available to them to help them get through this time, because I used to be shocked at how even the seniors seem to be scatterbrained during this time of year. You know, and then you realize, well, they've been away most of the summer, right? To try to get them back into the routine. So that for me, it's getting them to the information they need to start off on the right foot, and us as a staff being there as a support system for them.
Amen.
I'll jump in. We have a very unique situation here. You know, UTSA's campus is very it's small compared to the general public. UTSA was pretty much built as a commuter school. So we have like 5,000 beds on campus. So basically, you know, football and I think basketball are primarily on campus. And I think even them, they're starting to move off campus. But we're off campus from day one. We don't have any prerequisites to be on campus that freshman year or anything like that. So, you know, it is it's an arduous task, especially when you have international athletes coming in. So what we do is we make sure we assign mentors to all of our incoming athletes. And basically that mentor, you know, is responsible for showing them around, helping them settle into their apartment. You know, if they need to set up their bank accounts, if they need to, you know, get over to campus to set up their classes, to meet with their counselors, all of that. And, as a staff, we have to be around as well. We have to make sure that we're, facilitating, any fires. There are tons of fires that pop up, and you're constantly putting fires out, and, you got panicked kids going, oh my goodness, and you're having to, really step in and say, hey, it's okay. We're going to be all right. And then, once we have that first team meeting, we're basically, laying out our expectations. And, from that point on, it's really about getting into a routine, right? Like, when do you get up? When do you eat breakfast? When you get to practice? When you go to campus? When is weights? Rinse and repeat. And the sooner the kids that are able to get into a routine faster are the ones that, I think tend to succeed. The ones that don't, and, fits and starts and stops and stop and go, as Sir Lucius said, things then start to pile up. Things start to pile up. You missed this assignment. You missed this meeting. You missed this appointment, and all of that, we can't say it enough. I mean, every single meeting, you blink and you're in the middle of the semester and you're wondering, okay, where am I? And it's so crucial.
How did I get here so quickly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so crucial that you get on a schedule. You get on a schedule and you stick to it. Sunday, you are looking at what's coming up the following week. And you're, putting it in your head, okay, I got this on Monday, this on Tuesday. And you're starting to think ahead. All those things are crucial to your success here at UTSA. It's definitely not the situation where everything is, under that umbrella, that magic, force field where everything is on campus, where you step out of your dorm and there's a dining hall, you step out of your dorm and there's a training room, and it's not like that. You've got moving parts. So, it's really crucial that we communicate that to our kids beforehand. And then once they get here, we reinforce it. Hey, you gotta do these things to be successful.
I will say that this is my least favorite time of the year. As excited as I am, especially for this upcoming season, year 2, you got your own recruits in, all this other stuff, right? It's just, and I'm a person who embraces and functions very well amidst chaos. But during this time of year, I feel like I have a new profession. I feel like I'm a professional firefighter, because every hour it is multiple fires. And honestly, because I understand the spirit of this question, just read your emails and respond to what you're supposed to do. Like, so much of my day today would have been eliminated if people just read their emails and do what it says to do. And to the governor's point, yeah, in a week or 2 or 3, we'll have a rhythm to this whole thing, and it'll be chill. But it's not chill right now, and it is massively annoying. So if you are an incoming athlete, especially a freshman, a new transfer, or you are the parents of freshmen and new transfers, make sure they read their emails and make sure they go where they are supposed to go at the time that they are supposed to be there. Because between medical people, compliance, academics, we don't practice for like a month. All this other stuff, it is maddening how much of these little things takes up so much of my time right now, and it's totally preventable. So yes, if you want to know the checklist, just read your emails, please.
If there was a way to incorporate your schedules, your assignments, your tasks, all of that stuff into TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, oh my goodness, they'd be on it. On it.
It'd be fine, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But wait, we can. In our individual accounts, We just make the announcements. Bam, problem solved.
Shoot, don't
I'm just-
nobody
I'm-
follow
You
us
know,
on.
you know
Don't
what,
nobody
Big
follow
League?
us on
You
TikTok.
know,
Shoot.
Billy,
No.
I think
I'm
I've
gonna do
seen a
it.
coach. I think I've seen a coach actually post schedules on his
Mhm.
Twitter account.
Hmm.
And I think I remember seeing that. Hey,
Yeah. Doing
okay.
it.
It's not the worst
Yeah.
idea.
It's
No, it's
only the
definitely
worst
not
because
the
we have to
worst
do it. It's because we have to do it. That's what makes it the worst. Lamar, from afar, anything that the other tiles missed, or maybe
Yeah,
even a compliment?
actually, I'll be honest with you. When I took over the Cal program in particular, we were DFL, and I got a lot of really good counsel from a few people. One of them on this group of tiles, and the thing that I got from the advice was, creating culture is the hardest thing to do, and culture starts with process. So when I was last the head coach, what we did was we put out like a small, we'll call them muffins, okay, in our offices that were removed by 9:30 a.m. We also had checklists for freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors actually printed and put on the tables in front of said muffins. And each kid, to Clyde's point about reading emails, was sent an email. If you have any issues with the check-in and whatever process, we got you. Start in our office before 9:30. So literally, if you read your email, to Clyde's point, it was paint by numbers. Come to the office, get a muffin, look at your checklist, take your checklist with you, fill out as much of it as you could. At the end of the checklist, it says come back to the office. Because for us, we were just always like, we want to be here for you, but we're not going to follow you around. So I wanted to see you at the beginning of the process for the day, and at the end of the process for the day. Let me see what you got done on your checklist. Okay, well, you need this, this, and this, and you should be good. All right, well, you should have done this first, but that was the way we were active participants in the process without going crazy. Because I was like, I'm not going to follow these kids around and not doing any of that. But I think that this time of the year, the thing that young people fight against the most, the thing that they need, is also the thing they need the most, which is structure. If you give them paint by numbers, they will fight you kicking and screaming, but eventually follow the paint by numbers and be thankful for the paint by numbers. And I won't lie, it's half of your first summer trying to put together the checklist, because it's tedious, right? But once you got it put together, once you got that in place, like, honestly, I give Sir Lucius a lot of crap, right? Because he's been in the same place, in the same position at a very high level for a long time. So at this point in time, it really and truly is checking in with the staff. Y'all got this? Okay. But the point is, it's structure that he's put in place with them, which is structure that they've put in place with the student athletes, which is structure that all together has been put in place with the, constituents across the country, across the campus. And so, like, if I was given any advice to any young head coach, new head coach, whatever, is, spend the time in the off season once to put together as good a checklist as you possibly can, and then make them accountable to it. Here, this is what you have to do. Because here's the thing, like, we all make fun, because none of us played football at the collegiate level. We all make fun of the fact that, like, collegiate football players get a syllabus that starts, like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but collegiate football players, like, they get daily and weekly to-do lists and syllabi, basically, for football, that include things like wake up and go to sleep. Like, I mean, it all but says breathe in and then exhale. It's crazy, but it is also how they get 110 people to be on time places they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like they get the masses to move and do what they're supposed to do. And so to some degree, I kind of took the football mantra, which is like, all right, I'm going to take thinking out of this for you for the first 2 or 3 days that you're on campus. Just do what's on the list. If you do everything on the list and then you're still in trouble, you know what? I'll deal with that. So that was always my thought process. And year 1, it was a complete and utter shit show. Year 2, it was a whole lot better. By year 3, I was Sir Lucius. Y'all got this? All right. I'll see you at, 3:45 since you don't have practice, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
but I think structure is important, and trust and believe. Seniors fight against it as much as anything, and they need it as much as the freshmen do, because their issue is they think they got this. They don't.
You ain't lying.
They don't. Seniors are as disheveled as freshmen, just for different reasons. The freshmen are disheveled because they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to mess this up. Seniors are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to mess this up, but I'm trying to get up out of here. It's the same conversation. It's just, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Flip the coin to the other side. What are some of your musts for yourselves as the coaches as we return to school? And not that we left the offices, but now we're a little more in the offices and such. Yes, Lamar?
I just wanted to go first.
Oh, go ahead.
Since he's going to talk longer than all of us combined, let him go first.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. You've been coming at me all day today. And I've been trying to be nice because you're my elder statesman and my big brother and all that. But we got about enough of that. Exactly. So anyway, for me, the must-dos for oneself as a coach is to remember to give tools and not enable. Oh,
so what
see,
do you
I'm
mean
done,
by that?
Sir Lucius.
But what do you mean by that for the coach? I'm confused.
So I would like to throw in my 2 cents on that. As much as I would love to emulate what you just said, not possible.
No, it is possible. It is possible. But unfortunately, you have to be willing to let them fail. And I understand that's
They just got to campus. You can't.
I understand the difficulty in that. I really do.
I really thought the governor was trying to speak here. You had the floor.
Oh my God. I'm so
Wait, and then the moment gets better because Kai's here.
Exactly, because Kai's on
Kai.
so we can care less what you have to say anyway. So. What's up, big fella?
What's
Governor,
up?
Give us a smile.
Oh, we're drooling over Kai.
Oh, man. No, but no, I hear what you're saying, Lamar. I mean, the teaching should begin immediately once they get on campus. Hey, welcome to the rest of your life. You're out from under, mom and dad's watchful eye. No one's waking you up in the morning to go to class. No one's, driving you to school. No one's doing any of that, right? You're now on your own. You're in a new city. You're in a new country. So you've got to make an adjustment. You've got to adjust the way you think, the way things are operating. You might have been used to taking, a train, 2 trains and a bus to get to practice every day. And that was okay. But now you can't figure out what shuttle to take to get to campus.
On time.
That's a 7-minute drive.
right.
Spare me with that, right? So, but as far as, as far as myself, I'm more concerned about, as Sir Lucius said, taking a breath every day. because if you get tangled up in the whirlwind and the tornado that is incoming freshmen or incoming athletes that are frazzled and they're freaking out and they can't figure out, how to set up their account. They can't figure out how to put their name in for their bank account, or, can't remember whatever. And you've got to just sit there and just be calm. You have to be the calming influence in their lives. You've got to make sure that they understand that they're okay. And this chaos that they're going through, it will dissipate and they will be fine, right? So yeah, I would say the main thing is just, be a calming presence. Don't jump in and become part of the craziness.
Yeah.
Stability, consistency. I think that, the taking a breath for me every day, when, you're managing over 100 people. And I think the big thing is like, you have to set the tone, whether it's a serious tone or a calming tone, whatever tone that needs to be set for the day starts at the top, and it starts with me. So that for me, as I like to say, I'm the straw that stirs the drink, stealing, from Lamar's homeboy, Reggie Jackson. So, so I set the tone.
I very much agree with the governor and Sir Lucius. I will just say that I am trying to get home every day before 9 p.m. and I am trying to maintain my positive relationships with compliance and all the other administrative offices.
Yes.
Oh, that was so loaded. That was so loaded.
So very loaded.
Oh man. But that is one of the unwritten, right? The backhanded is we make sure all the beginning of the year forms get done. We make sure that everyone tries to check off that list while we shut the door and do a little scream of frustration, but then be like, okay, we got to make sure we stay on their good side. All right, get her done. Get her done.
Student athlete experience.
Yes,
And let me be clear with what I said, because I'm serious about this. Like in my job, in my role as a director, right? I genuinely believe that one of my key facets around here is to maintain good working relationships with the auxiliary staff, that we all have to deal with every day. When I say we all, I mean me, right? Because if you're an assistant, that really isn't your gig. If you're the athletes, they don't see when you do something wrong or you don't respond to an email or you aren't where you're supposed to be. They don't see all the drama that potentially causes behind the scenes. And so, luckily in my current position, all of those auxiliary people have been amazing to me, but I've only been here 1 year. If I, you know what I mean? I'm still in very good graces with everybody. So I'm as my team continues to grow and we bring in more and more new people, we have to maintain the standard that I have set in order to keep everybody happy. And that is a very delicate dance. Trust me on that.
It is mind-boggling. If we were to sit around and think about all the things you have to do to get to that first team meeting where everybody is eligible, everybody is certified, everybody can receive equipment, everybody is in classes, have all their classes. I mean, the average everyday person would be like, okay, you're doing this for what? You're getting paid what to do this? And it's every single year you go through this. So, I mean, yeah.
And I will be the first to tell you, I'm blessed. I have an incredible staff around me, and they take a lot off my plate. And I'm very thankful for that.
And that's why they're employed.
Exactly.
Well, I'll just tell you from a slightly different perspective. What happens in my job is when chaos breaks out, I'm supposed to be the calm one, right? So I'll give you guys a case in point. I had a kid who's been committed and then national letter of intent signed to a Power 5 school since he was a freshman in high school. He graduates from high school.
Not in track and field, folks.
Not in track and field. Yeah. He's on campus for I think they call it summer B. So he's taking classes, and his brother was in the program. His brother graduated and decides he's going to grad transfer to another school within conference. The head coach takes huge umbrage to this, comes to said young man who's in the locker room and tells him, you need to pack all your stuff, get out of the locker room. You're never going to play here. And I would suggest that you find another school to be at. So this is like within a month before the first day of school. He has never considered going to another 4-year school. And now I get the phone call. I got kicked off this campus. What do I do? How do we make this work? And then I am de facto guidance counselor, academic counselor, recruiting coordinator, you name it, right? And you can't sleep until, all your kids are settled. So it's this time of the year is also very interesting for me because I just cross my fingers and just make sure that everybody that's supposed to be someplace is there. Because when they're not, then, I called 6 junior colleges and 11 4-year schools. We had to surf through a whole lot of nonsense. And in the end, he's, the young man's going to go to junior college for a year out in Arizona. He's from Orlando, Florida.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So, nice. Thank you for your nuggets from everybody. And hopefully someone heard something or a word that resonates with them and allows, maybe not for this year's smoothness, and maybe it is for this year's smoothness, but next year's or the years to come for sure. To take Sir Lucius's straw and stir the drink a little bit, because we like a little bit of chaos every episode. Let's dive into the coaching carousel, because we've not neglected it by any means, but we've let it be and we've let it spin for a few revolutions. And now it's time to jump on the ride ourselves and see what's going up and down. There have been a lot of hires. If you're on Twitter specifically, you've seen these said hires happening. There's been some retirements. There's been some vacancies that have come up recently. There's still some vacancies that have been vacant for a minute, which is a little interesting. So who would like to shed light?
Wow. Well, I think obviously the biggest hire was, Petros Kiprianou to Illinois. We all know Petros did a phenomenal job at Georgia. I think we all expect him to do the same at Illinois. He took Giovanni Smalls from Arizona State, is now there with him. Big one is Dennis Mitchell, who was a head coach at Akron for a very long time, is now the pole vault coach there. I think they kept the distance coach.
Correct.
Have no idea what he's doing other than that. I believe there's still 2 jobs open at the University of Miami in the sprint side. I believe that Mr. Diego, I always mess up his last name, is now Ohio State Buckeye.
Flacker.
Yeah. He's now an Ohio State Buckeye.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Wow.
Yeah. So Miss Amy Dean now has 2 jobs open. I'm sure she doesn't probably like the fact I'm putting that out there in the ether, but maybe she'll get a good person out of that. Yeah. I'm not sure if Tennessee's fell out of his staff, and and I think the other big one that we haven't talked about is the fact that a month ago we thought Brian Bluetrick, Big Blue was going to be saying go Vols, and now it's go Ducks.
Right.
Yeah. So arguably, probably not arguably, Blue is probably widely considered the best throws coach in the NCAA. So and deservedly so.
So has Oregon figured out who's doing jumps and multis?
No.
I mean, if they have, they haven't publicized it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No. Well, Oregon jumps and multis. Tennessee throws. Arizona throws. Akron head coach.
Akron entire Tire staff.
Yes, sure.
They got
Akron and
nothing.
Tire staff.
Nebraska.
Arizona State has
Nebraska.
to replace the people that have moved.
Nebraska jumps
Wow.
in theory, because that's what Pep and coach,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And multi.
Yeah, and you know, like there's going to be a lot of movement from the things we just named, and to be frank, that's not all of them. You know, like
North Carolina A&T is still filling out their staff.
Filling out their staff.
A&T,
Yeah. Florida A&M has no coaches whatsoever. Them and Akron are the same.
Has Jacksonville figured out what they're doing?
Nobody's heard. That they have been just as quiet about hiring as they were about firing. Like nobody knows. You know,
Okay.
have been very quiet on both fronts. So,
UNC still has a job posted.
For what?
yeah.
I don't know. Someone was asking me about it today, and I was like, I didn't even know that. Sorry.
The
Okay.
biggest thing for me, and we talked about this last year. I honestly didn't think it would happen this way so quickly. And again, it's in the middle of August.
Yep.
There are so many jobs open. There are so many head jobs open. There
Yeah.
are universities with literally no staff at all, and people
Yep.
are returning to campus. So
Yeah.
if there's opportunities out there for people who are still shopping, don't think that there aren't. There are none here. I got another email yesterday. I have no jobs. None.
Is there somebody out there putting this out there? Because I got an email today, like, you know, what we would love to join your staff. I'm like, well, who's paying? Like, I
Right, like, it's not-
staff, you know. But I do want to give a shout out while I'm thinking about it, to my man Armand Gino Hall, who is now the Prince coach at New Mexico Junior College.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh,
so
that
he
is
replaced Amari.
tremendous.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yeah,
All right.
and I gotta
Speaking of that,
gotta,
with the Iowa Western staff that went to North Texas, have they figured out have Iowa Western figured out what they're doing?
Well, they haven't announced anything.
No.
and Lamar from afar, your boy Antoine Wright is now at Dartmouth.
Wow.
That is tremendous. But I just want to say this: like, listen, Armand Hall and Antoine Wright are two. Look, 5 years from now, we're gonna be talking about these two dudes as like, you know, guys, dudes, as they say in baseball, in the Power Five ethos, right? They're gonna be dudes. And and listen, my guy Keith Blackwell at New Mexico Junior College, I just want people to pay attention. All that dude does is win and hire coaches who continue to win, and then they go on other places and do other really good things. So
That's right.
like Armand, I know Hobbs, New Mexico is not sexy. Trust me when I tell you it's way more sexy than it used to be, because now Hobbs has an airport. You used to have to go all the way to Midland, Texas, which is like 2-hour drive and an hour time change. So just enjoy it.
Speaking of Sir Lucius, I mean, how extensive is your tree at this point?
Lord, listen, we don't have a show for this.
I mean, that's like asking how many people from the portal did he sign?
Right.
Right here.
Stop.
That's a whole show.
Hold on a second.
Right here.
Because the governor is part of my tree. Thank you very much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Listen. Next week's show can be the Lucius coaching tree, and the week after that we can do the Lucius transfer portal. But we don't necessarily have time.
Like I'm trying to wrap my head around like how many, like the sheer number, but
Okay.
okay.
Just look, let's just put it in
that's
perspective.
probably a whole other show. So
There are four tiles not named Lucius on this show, right?
Mhm.
There are 3.5 people from the Lucius tree on this show.
On the show.
I'm only giving Clyde a half.
Yeah, respectfully, as much as I would love to be tied to that tree, I'm not even sure I could be there. You know what I mean? not in the hierarchy of how my career developed. I'm gonna get on there one day though.
Yeah, you know what? I do not know the number off the top of my head, Governor, but I will definitely think about that. Yeah. I might start taking some notes.
Oh, that's a trivia question. We need an answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do need an answer.
Well, I would say the more entertaining part is, you know, and we talked about this as mentor-mentee relationships. Sorry, this is a complete tangent. Mentor-mentee relationships develop, get cultivated, and things of that nature. If you're adjacent to Sir Lucius, that doesn't make you a part of the tree.
Nope.
You're just another row. So I say that to say, this is why I say this though, right? Because someone as in the stature of yourself, the claim to fame is to throw you out, just throw your name out there. I had a conversation once with Coach Holloway, or, you know, when I saw him speak, he said to me, amongst the 70 other people that were in the room, but you leave that part out, right? So when I say that because when you're part of a tree, whether you're at the top, a leaf, a branch, whatever it is, embrace it and actually be fruitful of it. You can't just garner the drip drops from it. Like, you've got to be a part of it. Make the phone calls, have the conversations, and maybe it's not directly to Sir Lucius, but I know that when I've had conversations this summer where I'm asked for my own personal advice, and I say, yeah, like, this is why I think this, and here's the evidence of this, because Coach Holloway had said one time in a conversation, ... And if it works for him, I've got to at least listen to it, right? And so be fruitful with this information. Don't just like gloss over it and just be like, one time when I was in earshot of Coach Holloway at the convention on the 3rd floor. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
People absolutely treat Sir Lucius like people try to treat Belichick.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's why I would never sit here and claim that, because it ain't that. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool and all, but sorry,
No,
I ain't
like,
in that club.
If
Like,
if you're part of the tree, like, okay, this happened to me this year, right? If you're part of the tree, then when you bring one of your athletes to the mothership, right?
Well, now it's the mother. I like that though. The mothership,
Right? When
The
the
mothership connection,
Godfather,
baby. There you go.
when the Godfather starts talking, right? Your athlete who you brought with you says, "Oh yeah, I heard this a bunch of times, because Coach Huffin said that you said yada yada yada." Right? That's how you know you're part of the tree. Is that the kids, the young people that you were blessed to coach, when they finally get to meet, like, the guy, they're like, "Oh yeah. I've never met you, but I've heard a lot of things that you've said." Right? That's how you know that you're legitimately part of the tree. And I don't mean that like in some sort of flex. I'm just saying, like, listen, there's an expression.
We have something better to talk about right now. I know.
This guy.
mean,
See, you know what's funny? He's so embarrassed right now. This is the best part. Making him uncomfortable is the best thing ever.
You do this on purpose, and you know, I know you do.
I didn't even do it this time. This time is on BLC. I had nothing to do with this.
Well, it's actually on the governor.
The governor started it.
All right.
See?
So we'll move on.
Just not me.
It just popped into my head. That's all.
Yes.
That's all.
No.
I'll get you a number. I'll get you a number, Governor.
Yes. All right. So enough messiness. We'll clean it up a little bit. And by no means are we cleaning this up. European athletics as an entity compared to world athletics as an entity. Why is European athletics better?
Go ahead.
Question.
Go ahead, sir.
I mean, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, how many times have you heard me and everybody else on this show talk about how Euro-centered the sport is, right? Okay, well, European athletics literally only has to govern itself. Like, how hard is that? How hard is it to govern it, report on it, do all those things when like literally this is your constituency? This is like the definition of preaching to the choir. At least with world athletics, there's the occasional where they don't do it exactly the same way. Like, we do things somewhat differently in the United States as they do in Europe. They do things slightly differently in Australia as they do in the rest of Europe. They definitely do things a whole shit ton differently in the Caribbean as they do in Europe.
Anywhere.
Right? So world athletics has to kind of be like you know, the mothership, so to speak, over all of these children. But if they're only talking about European athletics, like this is literally like choir and pulpit. You know what I mean? Like it's there's no governance necessary.
It falls on the SEC slogan.
Oh, don't you dare take my line. Don't you dare.
It just means more.
I had that queued up.
I'm sorry. Let me rewind the tape to you. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I mean, yeah, Clyde, that's just what it is, right?
That's what it is.
No, that's literally what it is.
Yeah,
that's
I got
literally
to see this firsthand in Commonwealth Games, right? Like Commonwealth Games went seamlessly.
Yeah.
In comparison to to World Championships, which also went really well, right? But Commonwealth Games went seamlessly. You know why? Because the preacher was telling the choir, "Shut up, do what you're supposed to do."
Yeah, you'd have to go to a meet in Europe, like we're in Budapest, right? And like there's this little rinky-dink stadium. It's no big deal, and there's this little small warm-up area, but like it just ran. Like there was never a blip on the radar.
Nope.
That means here in the States, it's an hour behind. It's crazy. And I'm sorry, Clyde, it just means more. It just means more.
Yes.
I mean, like in Europe, they all like. Here's what I'll say, right? Like when I used to work at Boise State, and it's the only place I've ever been that was like this. Boise State football does what it does, and it's insanely successful. But what most people don't know, unless you live in Boise, is the high schools all run some version of Boise State football's playbook. I think they call it Optimus. So like the Pop Warner of in Boise and in the state of Idaho, they all run some version of Boise State's offense, right? So at the end of the day, like by the time a kid from Idaho gets to Boise State, like they already know the playbook. They've been running it for like 12 years, right? Like this is what we got when we come to meets in Europe. Everybody in Europe runs meets with the same playbook.
That's why, you know, like to your point, anyone that is of the caliber to go to European championships, you know, on a regular basis, what must they be thinking when they come to a world championships that isn't just running like clockwork,
right?
That isn't just snapping and doesn't have a rhythm, and they're having all these breaks and they're wondering, okay, what is going on here? You know, and that's I think the biggest difference is European athletics live, eat, breathes, like it's part of their DNA. They're growing up from young children, you know, like how many people on this podium, on this panel, like I remember the first time I was at a track meet, and you know, the warm-up area or the track, indoor track, was kind of a multi-purpose place. And I'm doing my pre-meet, and I look over and there's a 6-year-old kid doing the same med ball throws that I'm doing. I'm looking at this kid and I'm going, no wonder you're so far ahead of everybody else. Like it's part of their curriculum. They don't have a choice.
Nope.
This is what they do.
I'll give you a great example of that. Mondo Duplantis.
Yes. Absolutely.
There's a reason why he's the best. He's been doing it since he could walk, basically.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Great example.
So I would compare this, even though Lucia stole my line, but that's okay. He's the GOAT in the highest chair. I'm just the alumni. No, it literally does mean more in the same way from a governing body standpoint. It just means more to them, like high school track and field just means more on the island of Jamaica. So the best high school thing you will ever see is Jamaican champs. Anywhere in the world, I assure you, Jamaican champs is better.
Yes.
Not just the performances, the atmosphere, the care in which they structure that entire entity. A lot of the governing body of European athletics, I imagine, are tied to world athletics, but it means more that Euro athletics does it well. Period. Everything that they put into that, and I've been lucky enough to go to a European championship firsthand as a coach. It's amazing. Like it's literally amazing. And if you ever have an opportunity to go as a spectator, just go. It's a different vibe. It's a different feel. It is amazing.
Go get on the European Athletics website. Look at
Yes.
how interactive it is. It's alive. Like you don't have to go searching for things. It is, they have figured out how to be user friendly. Like,
well, to that point, right? To that point. If you got on the World Athletics website during World Championships, there was good information there, but you didn't have to register.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to register.
Yeah.
With Euro Athletics. Now, once you register,
100%.
please believe it's amazing.
Yes.
It didn't necessarily cost me anything, but if you want to be in the club, you got to register.
You got to register. Yeah. They want to know that you want to be there.
Yeah.
That's right.
And here's the thing, like we talked about indoctrination, right? Like, look, unbeknownst to the rest of the world, right? There's a World Championships U20. There's a World Championships, at the senior level. When Europeans, there's a European Championships U20. There's a European Championships U23. There's a European Championships as a senior. Like,
and there's
right?
a U18. There's a U18 as well.
Exactly. Right. And like, look, we'll take something really simple. The first time, if you are a North American athlete, the first time you go to a major championship is the first time you ever go to a meet where there's the meets in sessions.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do a decathlon, like where you got 3 events in the morning and then 2 events in the evening, they've been doing that since they were 16 years old.
Yep.
They build their training around that.
Yes, they do.
Like that's half the issue that comes about when European athletes come to the States to go to college. They're like, what is this? Why are we doing so many things in a row? Why are we out here for 4 straight hours? Like those kind of questions. And it's like, what do you mean? And then you go back and you get a little bit more global and you're like, got it. So since European 16 U's, you've been doing like a decathlon is in 4 sessions. Got it.
All right. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. The European Athletics website is actually really cool. I do challenge you to go.
It's insane.
Like, like I just put it in our group chat before we started. That, and then, so just for those who were watching and who had the experience of World Championships, to go backwards a little bit of comparison, if there are things that you didn't like, we actually all just got an email as to what comments you wanted to make. So if you didn't see that yet, go check your email. And if you really have something that you want to make a comment on and improve or highlight because you really liked it, I encourage you to go do that, because you can't complain about it if you don't say anything about it. So sidebar. To close this conversation, because by no means are we ending the show, close the conversation with an amazing thing on a highlight. What are the amazing things or things that you saw happen in the year of 2022 in regards to track and field? So it's not specific to NCAA, it's not specific to your event group or even an athlete. In the world of track and field, what was the amazing things that you saw?
From afar?
I'm a nerd and I'm a Star Wars buff. And there's an expression to Star Wars people, the fully operational Death Star. And I think one of the most amazing things I saw this year, and I hate to say this because like this is literally going to feed Clyde's ego, but watching Sid actually become the fully operational Death Star right? So like, look, everybody, if you're paying attention, she's giving you moments. For me, it was last year when she ran sub 13 in the hurdles off the wrong leg. I don't know if everybody remembers that.
I don't know that really happened, but I think you're making that up.
It did happen.
I don't think it did.
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, you don't have to think that, but I'm just telling you it did. But even if it didn't, how about this? The story came about, and I paid attention from there on in. Let's go with that. And I guess the point to it is like, if you were paying attention, you're like, wow, they're working at a different level than they've gone deeper into the bag than anybody else has been willing to go into. Like the last time a hurdler went into this kind of bag, it was Edwin back in the day, right? Edwin in the 70s was thinking like what's going on now in the 70s. And so listen, Clyde has been beating me and Sir Lucius across the head about Sid and her damn pattern. And if Sid runs this pattern, she won't ever get beat. And I'll be the first person to raise my hand and say, I told Clyde that was some absolute BS. And he was disrespecting Delilah as the GOAT and the champion and the world record holder. And you know what? Sid, as the fully operational Death Star, is indeed, I'm going to say, unbeatable. Because for one, she runs a pattern nobody else runs. For two, she's currently beating about the Head and Shoulders, the number 2 and number 3 all-time hurdlers. So it's not like she's beating like some bums. Like the 2 people next on the all-time list behind her, she's beating about the Head and Shoulders. And she takes 9 or 10 fewer steps in a hurdle race than the rest of them. And at the end of the day, folks, like, I hate to use these words, but like that's some other shit, right? Like, ain't nobody else doing that. And so what has been amazing to me, there's been a lot of amazing things in track, but what's been amazing for me, and I can't wait to hear everybody else's answers, what's been amazing for me is to watch Sid and Bobby take a great moving car, tinker with it, go in the shop, really get it right, and then bring it out and unleash the Formula One race car, against some NASCARs, and just watch the demolition of the rest of the world. Because I'm not sure that anybody can beat her. I think the only thing that beats her is boredom.
Oh yeah, I'll simply say thank you, and I agree. Well, I think we do a decent job of throwing out things that go relatively unnoticed on this show, but nothing can really compare to something like Sid, right? But one of the more amazing things I've seen this year is the rise, the ascension, if you will, of Coach Carl Goodman and his protege Melissa Jefferson. And if the sport needed anything as bad as it needed Melissa Jefferson, I am so happy she is here. I'm so happy she has arrived. I'm so grateful for her presence and what she represents. It's just, they've done everything right. And, if there's a young person in this game, in that event, to be excited about, genuinely excited about, that can actually carry the flag, it would be Melissa Jefferson. And she's by nowhere near, she ain't anointed. She's not, the best that we have right now. Looks to be that the best we have right now is Aaliyah Hobbs, right? But the possibility that someone that young can be, she showed that she has everything mentally and emotionally to carry that flag. And so I'm very, very impressed with Melissa Jefferson, and I can't wait to see what comes next from her and her coach.
I mean, she's probably the only student athlete that's gone to Coastal Carolina that's come out of Coastal Carolina with a professional contract.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I bet money it is.
You know what I mean?
Definitely we know that from the track and field side, we're positive that's it. I would imagine
100%.
there's a baseball player or a football player or something along the way.
There was a baseball player a couple years ago
Okay. You said the only one ever.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say ever. I'm saying like this year, like me, just meaning like
you said ever.
I didn't say ever, but okay. The point is,
you're gonna be a meme next week because I'm gonna make that meme
Good.
myself.
Bring it.
You said ever. Because you said
Bring
ever.
it. Bring
ever?
it.
It shall be brought because you said ever.
Just look at my background. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
And see, here's the difference between me and everybody else. When you punch me in the mouth, my plan just gets better, brother. Promise you that.
Sweet. It'll be toothless, but you'll still have a plan.
Hey, look, I still got my fronts.
And this is how Sir Lucius has won the portal and won the SEC and won NCAAs because somebody done punched him in the mouth one too many times.
Right. Exactly. This dude is inventing people to be mad at. I love it.
You're right. So I'm going to give a shout out to one of my to one of my athletes, and something that he did this year when this guy walked on my campus. He was in January. He was 45-40, and 6 months later he's 43-7. He's the 10th fastest guy in the history of the sport, and his deep attention to detail, his work ethic was just phenomenal. Just a big shout out to Champion Allison and the work he put in this year. I mean, I don't think there's anybody on this planet, myself included, that back in January thought this dude was going to run 43-7 outdoors. But again, just big shout out to him. I'm very, very impressed with what he did, and looking forward to continue that charge with him.
My favorite thing about Champ is Champ actually challenged Sir Lucius, because Sir Lucius had planned to redshirt Champ indoors. Yeah. And Champ was like, nah, cuz I want to run with my boys.
I wouldn't quite say that's how the conversation went.
Listen, I'm trying to make you sound cooler. I'm trying to make you sound cooler than the reality.
Oh,
yeah.
So I, my first thought was, and this is getting kind of crazy, Clyde, because that's exactly the first thought I had was Melissa Jefferson.
Ooh.
And I thought Clyde is going to say, if he gets on there, he's going to say it. Sure enough. So I moved to plan B. Okay. Now here's what I found. Guess how many women have run under 11 seconds this year?
Oh God.
37.
Wow, Sir Lucius. 35.
Wow. See, I was going to say 25.
Okay. So I went back 10 years.
Lucky guess.
So I went back 10 years. Okay. I mean, we're talking legal under 11 seconds. The biggest amount I saw in the last 10 years was 17.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, now,
do you want to talk about, we're in a new era. Yes. And I said this when I watched World Championships, the semis, the finals, the rounds. And I said this when I saw Commonwealth, when I saw what just happened today.
World Juniors.
We're moving into a different era in our sport. Mm-hmm. And for the coaches that are pushing the envelope, much like with what we're seeing in the 4 hurdles, right? Men and women, because 47 is what on the men now? What is that? Right?
Normal.
Okay. 53 is what
standard.
in the women's hurdles, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Right? But 35 women have broken 11 seconds this year. That is insane.
Well, can we stay on that for a second?
That is double probably what the most, and I only went back a decade. Every single year back a decade. Right?
Maybe better than anyone on this show, the governor will pull something from nowhere and create a side conversation. We weren't planning for this, but since he threw that out there and none of us except himself had been paying attention to such a thing, listen, we all acknowledge that coaches are getting better smarter, and they have more direct links to information. We all recognize that there are, new technologies available to coaches, right? And I think people are trying to study their craft better. All things true.
Right.
But don't get it twisted. And this is for all the naysayers. The shoes matter, people.
What?
If you don't think the shoes matter, you're losing your mind.
Oh man.
So part of this new era that we're in is the era of the super spike.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So,
once that door was open.
Right. And Nike may have jumped out there with it first. Oh, but there's a reason Adidas and Puma and Asics and everybody else got one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. They matter.
The ones that don't have one, they're coming soon.
Right.
Absolutely.
I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Trey Cunningham. I know Lamar mentioned him last week, and the phenomenal season that young man's put together. For him to, I think he was with 739 or 38 indoors and 13 flat outdoors and sub 1310 about 100 times. He's just been the model of consistency, and nobody's talking about it. He's been kind of lost in the shuffle from the shine from Devin and Grant and the rest of the crew. In fact, Daniel upset him and everybody else at the USA Championships. But I think that what that young man's done, him and his coach Matt Cain this year, has been phenomenal. And I'm also gonna go homer again with Anna Hall. I'll have to lean on Lamar and the governor for this one. I don't know how many multis approved 500 and some points in 1 year. So that's not normal, right?
That's not normal at all. No.
I mean, not at her level. Like, sure, like if you're going from like high school senior year to freshman year in college, like that might happen. But like as an established, really good multi, no, that doesn't happen.
Well, let's call it what it is. She has raised her level every time the standard has changed, right? And it's something that as a coach, that is a dream. Right? Like
absolutely.
For young athletes, there's always that point where it's just like, oh, wait a minute. My idol is like right next to me. What am I supposed to do with this? Right? Anna Hall, like bump that.
Anna wants to be the best to ever walk this planet.
Exactly.
She makes no bones about that. She understands the history of the event. She embraces that. She is absolutely in awe of Jackie, the person, not so much of the record. So sometimes she wants to stare that record right. And because I think people have to understand about Anna is like she may be the most driven athlete I've ever been around in my life. Like there's just nothing she doesn't want to try to do. She wants to be the absolute best ever. And it's been absolutely wonderful being able to work with her and grow through this. Because there were some growing pains along the way, but actually watching her manage things has been phenomenal. So
here's the part that for me, like that I don't envy. I really don't envy this aspect of your job, is the fact that you have women on your team that don't have what Anna has. And I'm not throwing shade or anything like that, but
no shade taken, trust me.
But it is a challenge.
See, here's the conversation, Devin. So like, and it's simple, whether it's from the very first team meeting, a daily basis in practice, first meet we have a meeting, ladies, look around you. Some of you have to be comfortable with being one of the best girls in the country and not being the best girl on this team.
Exactly.
Right? And it doesn't help when you have somebody like Anna that said, like, Anna's like on our top 10 list of so many things right now. It's like we could be here all night. It's crazy. She just jumps
to
in
that point, right? Like you can't be in awe of the number. You can't be in awe of the record if you ever have any intention of breaking it, right?
Exactly. Right.
If it's not something you can see yourself doing, then you're not. That's not what you're going to accomplish. And in that regard, there's no way you would have told me or anyone else on this planet, if they're being honest, that by the end of the season, we'd be considering the fact that a female is going to run 11:99 in the hurdles. So one of the more amazing things I've
Preach.
seen this year,
Preach.
Toby Amusan and Coach Clark
Yes.
putting that together.
Yes.
Okay. Because
Which is funny because you and I we've been talking about this 12-1 thing, right?
Yeah.
yes.
So now we need to call Lucinda because she beat us to it.
I mean,
Well,
you know, and you know, I'm a track nerd, I'm a hurdle nerd, right? So me privately, like in my aspiration, you know, journals or whatever, I'm like, yeah, 12-0, yes, yeah, we could do that. But nobody thought you were going to actually see it this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I predicted Sid being Sid. Ain't nobody had that. No one had that.
Nobody.
And
No one
I'll add on to that, Clyde. I never thought I would see the day when pundits would openly question
Right.
100%.
timing systems
Oh my God.
Right.
at the world
Questioning the
championship.
questioning the validity of times run at the
Like-
world championship.
And
Yeah.
you know what?
Something has to be wrong.
And you know what sucks about that? And we said it at the time, at least I said it loudly. We said it on the show. Michael Johnson doing that on world television, right, was the lamest thing ever. But have you noticed what's happened since he did it because of who he is? Now there's prominent coaches out there throwing up tweets and Instagram videos questioning timing systems as if, like, really? Like, we're gonna play that game now? We're opening that door. Like,
Well, see, okay, so let's since we brought in Michael, when you took the record from 1966 to 1903, did we question the timing system then? No.
I mean, apparently we should have.
We all did.
By the
we
way,
all
it's
just
the
went.
same timing system, ain't it?
Exactly.
Same
We all
over
just went,
the
wow.
timing
What am I
system.
saying?
Right. When Bolt did his thing, you know, like, so, and it's just unfair. And like for those of us who understand the barriers, all you have to do is watch her jog 12-4 in the first round.
Yeah.
Right.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
And she did it again in Commonwealth games. She ran 12-4 at Commonwealth games in the first round. I was like, guys, she's got that part dialed in.
Yes.
1240 is that's the safe throw.
Yeah.
Like, she's got that one dialed in.
She ran two something to win it, right?
Yeah. 29 maybe.
Yeah, with none of her major comp in the race. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Also, gotta give a major shout out to Dos Santos. Have to, because he was the third guy a year ago, and he went back and he got it right. He was the only one that got better this year.
So it's funny that you say those. I'm going to use those same words. And listen, sometimes because we get trapped by records, right? The world record in the women's 100 is 10:49, is what it is, right? But let's be clear. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price PR'd this year. And the governor did the research, right? The most people to run under 11 seconds in 1 year is like 17 prior to this year, right?
Prior to this year, yeah.
But she's run under 11 seconds like 17 times this year, right? Like, listen, like, you got to pay attention. She's 35 years old. She ran under 10:70 3 times in 3 different places in a 7-day span. Just let that wash over you, folks.
Stupid.
That's
the season's
stupid.
not over.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
It's not.
It's not over. And listen, we all know this. Crazy things happen at Zurich. Crazy things happen in Diamond World Finals. Diamond World Finals. Crazy things happen in Lausanne. And it's like, bro, she still has all of that in front of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So
like,
I mean, so let me just step in here. Guess how many women have run under 1270 this year?
Oh God.
Oh, that's more
40?
than 30. What I was gonna say, that's I'm gonna say 51.
No.
It's not 40?
No.
It feels like
I'm gonna say
25 women.
I was gonna say I think it's 25. Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like
Only
40.
only because I've kind of delved into that.
But
area.
But
It feels
as,
like 50.
as Sir
though.
Lucius
Can we all agree to
attest,
that? It feels like 50.
but as Sir Lucius can attest, there was a point in time where 12-7 could win a medal.
Well, there was a time
no,
when
that-
12-7 was like, it was years ago. I'm old to remember when I was doing that, right?
Am I wrong? Am I right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, damn 12-7, 12-5 get you medals, not no more.
Not
No.
no more, yeah.
12-5 get you the tail
12-5,
end
you
of
don't
the
make
final.
you don't make the USA team.
Yeah. So let's look
Right.
at 12-5.
12-5 is what took to make the final at World Championships.
Right.
12 athletes have run under 12-5 this year.
See,
Under.
that's why it feels
right.
like 50.
That's
Right, that's
literally
why it feels like 50.
So what are you telling collegiate kids now? Like,
Pay some money to go to school.
Get better.
Oh
better.
man.
Well, see, and I think what we're seeing with that event is, like you talked about with the 100, the evolution of it, and because you remember, Lamar, from afar, you were here and you saw 3 girls run 1260 in the same race in Gainesville in April.
yeah.
It was 1260, 1258, 1258. In April, and so and it's going to continue. Because you know how it is. I mean, so now that Toby's done it, somebody else is going, well, she did it, I can do it.
Yeah.
When Delilah ran 51 seconds, 52 low, Sid's like, okay, let's raise the bar.
Here we go.
But to give Clyde credit, as soon as Sid and Bobby got together, you're like, it's over.
It's a wrap.
You're
Yeah,
like,
it's a
it's
wrap.
done. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
listen, it's so true that he
Bull-
said
so,
that.
So Boogie and Delilah have been hitting the mouth. Let's see if they change their plan. Knowing those two as we do, they'll change the plan. But I don't know if they can get to 50-68. No, I just don't. I don't know if anybody else on this planet can do that. Unless it's a guy.
Like
I said this today about Yulimar Rojas, right? I think she's the fastest. I think she's the fastest. I think she's the fastest triple jumper in the world, but I know she's the tallest and the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, wait a minute. There's only 3 parts to this. Fast, long, strong. Well, I know she's 2/3 of it, and I think she's 3/3 of it. So it's like, I took a picture of this and I put it in our group chat, right? Like her list of accomplishments in the last year are, I mean, I'm not sure if she remembers the last time she didn't jump 15 meters.
right.
Because it was a long time ago.
And that's another one you could see coming from a mile away. Like I said, the first time I saw Rojas was World Juniors in Oregon. And I'm like, oh, that one's different. Like what? Like,
Yeah.
never heard of her, but the Venezuelan girl is amazing. And I don't care what place she got in this thing. That's the one. Right. And Lamar threw it out there. We've had this conversation a few times. If you're a fan of long hurdles, just go watch the races, play them in slow-mo, and understand that Sydney is literally, it's a 400. She's 9 steps less than everybody else. Now you explain, if I just told you we're going to run a 400 and I'm going to take 9 less strides than you are, and we're going to finish. You tell me how you're going to beat me doing that.
Well, the key is she's taking those 9 less steps efficiently, because
yes, very efficient.
The people can overstride and do that. They won't run nearly as fast.
For sure, but you understand what I'm saying? Like at this elite level where everybody's
I just
rolling,
threw that in there as a caveat so people understand.
Yeah,
that's all.
Where everybody's rolling.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Like, so I mean, Femke Bowl is really tall, pretty damn fast.
Yeah,
pretty damn fast.
Either she adopts that and figures out how to do it, or you're just never going to win unless Sid decides to sit in the stand.
Well, see, the problem with that is like, Sid is not as tall as Bull, I don't think.
No, she's not.
But her levers are longer.
Yes, exactly.
Her legs are longer. And
exactly.
See, Bull is, I think Bull is more, her torso is longer, which makes
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to go that direction, because if you don't, you're not gonna close that gap doing what you do.
We've had this discussion. I don't know if she can.
No, I don't think she can either. Nobody can.
I don't think
that's the
exactly.
point. But
Exactly.
like you can't do it.
Because
Here's what's
see,
crazy
I think
about
that's
Rojas
what gets
is that
people hurt. Yeah.
Mhm.
there's not even a bowl in the women's triple jump.
No,
right?
there's
Like
not.
the rest. Look, listen, like Ricketts and geez, all like there's like 4 or 5 that are right around 15 meters, and I think they're all going to jump 15 meters, right? Real quick, since August 29th of 2019, I'm gonna read these off to you real quick. 1541, 1537, 1503, 1543, 1427 to 1471. I think she had the flu. 1514, 1543, 1515, 1534, 1512, 1557, 1556, 1548, 1541, 1574, 1483, again, the flu, 1547, 1501. That's since August 29th of 2019.
Yeah.
If you take the rest of the world, there's like 1 15-meter jump in there.
Well, that's why she bored and wants to go long jump, but she was got to put on the right shoes. Like, that's what we got to do.
And when
last
we're
but
talking
not
about
least, yeah, go ahead.
greatness, folks, you got to talk about Sharika Jackson.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
like so she's 21:45.
yeah.
She's 10:71.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any doubt that she'd run 48 seconds if she decided to run the quarter right now?
No
Right?
doubt.
Man, do I want
So
to see it.
she's becoming the best all-around women's sprinter ever. That's what she's become.
I want to see a 400 next year between Sharika, Sid, and the wonderful Bahamian. I want to see that race.
So I I'm going to reserve my judgment until she decides to jump in one, like just ad hoc. I'm going to run the 4 hurdles at the next Olympics like Privalova did. And then I can say, okay, all right, you're the GOAT. Because let's call it what it is. I mean, what Privalova did in 2000 is just stupid.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's just stupid. But I wanted to just interject that Tori Franklin winning a medal,
Yes.
a medal in the women's
Yes.
triple jump. Okay, taking the steps that she did to go over to Europe and train in Greece and learn the techniques and the weight training and all of that stuff, and to take that and come back home and win a medal on home soil. Huge achievement. Like, there will never be another first, right? And let's give the woman her flowers, okay? Unbelievable, unbelievable performance in Eugene.
I mean, while you're giving those same flowers, like, let's just be clear. Like, I was on the 96 team and the 2000 team, and the women's throws and the women's triple jump were they were the like, wah, 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 like, all right, so you're US champ. That's why you got to come here. Got it. You'll be out in the prelim, right? And this year, going into World Championships, the #1 throws in the world in all of the throwing events were American females. And then they showed up at the World Championships, and Kara Winger won a medal. Yeah. And we won a couple medals in the hammer. We won a couple medals in the shot. It's like, holy cow!
Yeah, unreal.
Right, like right. And Valerie, the biggest favorite of the group, she actually didn't win, but of course won a medal. So I'm like, you know what? You want to talk about amazing things that I've seen in 2022?
Yeah.
The emergence and an absolute surge of the women's throws globally.
Yes.
From the United States females.
Yeah.
Because that right there is like, that happened it happened in a year, folks.
Yeah.
It happened in a year. Even if Anita Ledarchik doesn't get hurt, like you still have an American female medalist in the hammer, right? So it's not like one of those like fluky things. Like, they were really good everywhere.
Big league.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and that's the amazing stuff that we decided to remember in 2022. So I'm sure we left some stuff off, and, if you feel so inclined, please comment on it. But definitely those are things that stuck out to everyone on the time.
One more real quick. Noah Lyles, 1931. And we'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
yeah. Definitely. I know, because that was definitely going to be said first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah House,
Yeah, and-
1931.
And before anybody calls in and emails and all the other nonsense, like, yes, look, Fred Curley did run under 980 3 times in a row. Like, let's be clear, we saw that too. We didn't miss that. We didn't miss that.
Clyde, you're up for Would You Rather, sir.
Oh.
No.
No, I
Did you
would
say
rather
no?
not.
No, I would rather.
It's fun. It's fun, I think. Well, I think it's fun. I
That's
always
what you
think it's
always
fun.
tell us.
I know. All right. You ready, sir?
I am.
All right. Would you rather clean an explosive diaper or catch throw up?
Oh, you know what? The whole diaper thing is like the most overrated horror story of parenthood. I'm good with the diapers.
Got it. Okay. I'll share a story with you later. Would you rather divulge your mild split search history or your Twitter search history for recruiting?
Say it again. I don't get it.
Would you rather divulge your mile split search history or your Twitter search history for recruiting? Which one would you like to put on blast?
Oh, mile split's fine. There's not much going on Twitter these days anyway.
No, in regards to recruiting. So like who you're looking at. Okay, got
Mile
it.
split.
Would you rather play Pictionary or sing karaoke?
I do not sing. I'm a man of many talents who recognizes the ones I do not have. I do not sing. I have never karaoke'd. I will not karaoke. So I will most definitely Pictionary.
All right. Would you rather have the ability to be invisible on command or teleport?
Well, invisible.
Invisible.
If I'm invisible, I can get where the hell I want to go anyway. Just a little slower.
Would you rather win the lottery or inherit your riches?
Oh, that's a good question.
See, I told you I thought I was.
I'd rather win the lottery. Ain't nobody in my family got money like that anyway. But if I won the lottery, I feel like you should just pay me up front.
Got it, yeah. The one hitter.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a personal chef or a personal maid?
Oh. I probably need the chef more than I
more
need
than the maid. Would you rather go to Hawaii with your boss on vacation or go to Bakersfield with a person of your choice?
There's nothing that I'd rather. I'm not going to Bakersfield for any reason. and my boss is awesome, so I will go anywhere except Bakersfield with Jeff Konya.
Oh my gosh. And I literally put that in there specifically.
From Bakersfield.
I know, right?
Bro, no. Listen, I'm not even really sure that we're allowed in Bakersfield, to be honest with you.
The Bakersfield Drillers, baby.
Kern County is not friendly.
No, it's not. Would you rather listen to the Backstreet Boys Christmas album or the Mariah Carey Christmas album?
Oh, Backstreet Boys.
I can't
Backstreet Boys all day. There's no way.
Wait, what's wrong with you?
No.
What is wrong
Listen,
with you?
not because they're better. Just understand, I have a little sister, and all I heard forever was Mariah Carey Christmas time. I don't ever want to hear Mariah Carey sing again.
I was like, the Mariah Carey Christmas album is fire.
It's not after the 500th play. It's not at all.
I was gonna say it is fire. It's like how I feel about Shrek. One time when my oldest was a child, I had to watch Shrek beginning to end 7 times in a row.
Is there not a Prince Christmas album I can listen to or something?
No.
You know, that's the one thing that
was the one thing he
did.
did not grace us with. Yeah,
I was gonna say that's the one thing that the greatest never gave us was a damn Christmas album.
All right, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Oh.
Okay, let's see. What do I have for Clyde tonight? Would you rather Kai grow up to be a Major League Baseball player or a neurophysicist? You know, I mean, that's really exists. So,
I
mean,
I would be. Let's be clear. I would be more proud of him for being a neurophysicist. but last I checked, baseball pays more and is less work.
Even if he never plays one
So,
inning.
yeah, so I'll take the baseball, and
let's
by
be
that
clear.
time, that gives Lamar,
Yep.
17 years to become Scott Boras. So hook it up.
The nephew is about to get the bags.
There it is.
Lord.
One of the poorer decisions of my lifetime, giving up on baseball because I was bored. I didn't understand the economics.
Oh, that's pretty good.
All right. Would you rather backpack across Africa or backpack across Europe?
Ooh.
Boy.
I mean, backpacking across Europe sounds a lot safer. So yeah, I'm definitely going to lean into my Italian side on this one and pick Europe.
I mean, okay, all right.
I understand,
Mm-hmm.
but the chances of me coming home
Oh my God.
better in doing it in the Euro side.
We have a tattoo that you need to get. Tamika has this tattoo. It says Afritalian. I need to hook you up with this.
Hey,
I need to hook you up with this. You will actually like it. I think actually this is a thing
gosh.
that I can't believe that we just now got to.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Listen, I've had questions like there are countries in Africa that I absolutely need to go to, and they're on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Being out in nature in those countries is not part of the list. It's not really my thing. I'm a city boy.
This is what I hear right now.
Just saying.
Lamar, redirect. Would you rather, or question, please?
Geez. My would you rather for Clyde, they're always entertaining. I guess I'll ask a relatively straightforward and simple one. Given the option, you can only coach one for the remainder of your life. You can't coach nobody else. Would you rather coach Warholm, Rye, or Sid?
That one's pretty simple for me. I want John Wick. I want Rye. That one's pretty simple. At this point in the world, I'll explain that. At this point in the world, ain't much else you could do with Sid in that event. I mean, I'm sure her and Bobby are planning to run 49 just because they can, but the mastery is accomplished. And honestly, I don't think Warholm, who I consider to be the GOAT, I don't think he can do much else that, he can keep stacking medals, right? But I don't know if he can go much past 45-9. I believe and still believe and will continue to believe that Rye Benjamin can do to the men's race what Sydney is doing to the women. So that would be the challenge that I would want.
Well, I'm proud of my question because at least it was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that said, I'm going to lean on our amazing things that happened in 2022 as our heartbeat props for all the things that happened in 2022, and our heartbeat props are 2022.
Did Sir Lucius ask Clyde a question?
He did.
Yeah.
Neurophysicist.
Yeah.
I went first.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Neurophysicist.
So with that said, we will draw this evening to a close, bid everyone farewell, and see you next time. Have a good week, everyone.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin them hard, knock them off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics, double LLC, there's no others. Track and fields, place and we'll peel to go further. Hey, why Wile E. Coyote is road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and fail, then sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.